For those of you that are here, Kendall sent out the minutes from last week today. I encourage you to at least look through them and or consider postponing approving them until next week. Um, yeah, it's a lot. Everyone's human. Mistakes happen, and it's probably one that you want the record to be good for, you know.
Everyone, I believe we are at quorum, and I now call this meeting to order for Tuesday, March 3rd at 7:07 p.m. Can we please get Jonathan will be passing around the attendance sheets. Are there any amendments to be made to the agenda? I know we have a presentation.
Yeah. All right. Can I add a special presentation on HSI? And then additionally, I motion to add a resolution calling for UCLA to establish a firewall for freedom to the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tommy motions, Joyce seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower them. All against. All abstaining with a vote of 10 to 0 to 0. That resolution is added on tonight's agenda. Are there any other amendments for tonight's agenda? Daphne?
For today's agenda, may CS Transpo funding allocations be striked off because we don't have any allocations for that.
Of course. Divine?
Can you strike ARC allocations?
Thank you. Sherry?
Hi, can I strike bag allocations? Thanks.
Yes. Any other amendments? Joy, do you have TJF? Yes.
Can we please add the letter regarding Ohio Avenue Safety and Mobility Project to Caltrans, please?
Is there a second? Joy motions, Tommy seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. All abstaining with a vote of 9 to 0 to 0. That is added onto tonight's agenda. Any other final amendments? If not, can we please motion to finalize tonight's agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda for March 3rd, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Any motions, Hannah seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. And all abstaining with a vote of 8 to 0 to 0. Tonight's agenda for March 3rd is approved. Also, Daphne, I just want to note that proxies cannot vote, so I just noticed that you were raising your hand. But next, we will move on to the approval of our meeting minutes from last week's USAC meeting. I recommend that, I would just say that we will postpone them and then we will move them to next week's meeting for week 10. So please come back with next week's meeting, having read those meeting minutes. I will now move to public comments. Is there anybody here in person for public comment? And if so, can you please raise your hands? Yes. Whenever you see the 2-minute timer, you may begin.
Hello. Hi guys, I'm Layla with CalPERG. And sorry I was gone last week. I was on my way back from lobbying in DC with students from PERGs across the country. And then we just had our statewide lobby day this last weekend with six other CalPERG chapters. We lobbied over 45 offices in the state on a bunch of bills, from getting harmful chemicals out of our food packaging to making more wildlife crossings in our state. And we also talked to every legislator about our campaign to protect our oceans and asked them to come speak or write a letter to the big Fish and Game Commission hearings we're going to this spring. Ours is going to be May 5th and 6th in Santa Barbara. So we're recruiting a group of at least 50 students to come from LA to speak. And then I also wanted to talk about our textbooks press conference happening next week on Thursday at 2 p.m. I've talked about this a little bit, but we just released a report on the cost of textbooks in the US, which, spoiler alert, are quite high. And so we want to do a press conference calling for more open educational resources at UCLA, and also working to phase out inclusive access, which forces students basically to have to opt out of automatically paying for textbooks and can just be kind of predatory for students who don't know that they're even being billed. And so would love to have you guys come speak or attend. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you're interested.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers here in person? Are there any online? Eli, whenever you're ready, you may begin your 2 minutes public comments.
Thank you, Diego. Hi, everyone. My name is Eli Sepulveda, and I am speaking today on behalf of the Judicial Board. I am here to present a memorandum for the public because as of February 25th, 2026, the Judicial Board officially received a petition for consideration filed by petitioner Jordan King from the Community Programs Office Student Leadership Council against the respondent USAC Elections Board. We have granted the petition for consideration on the matter of Jordan King, CPO Student Leadership Council versus USAC Elections Board, and will be formally considering the case. The issues that we will be considering include the questions of whether the respondent violated Article 1, Section 1.2.1 of the USAC Elections Code, and whether they violated Article 2, Section 2.4.10 of the Elections Code. As per our bylaws, we have our court of hearing be open to the public, hence my public comment today. The hearing date has been set for Friday, March 6th at 10 a.m. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eli. With that, I will now close public comment today at 7:15 p.m. We will now move on to BOD with Nico. Sorry, it's the agenda. Do you want to strike it? I don't know.
Yeah, I did not see that that was on the agenda. I would like to strike it. I'm sorry I didn't look beforehand.
Thank you. Next, we have contingency programming.
Hi, this week we had a total contingency program request of $105,000, $1,641,000, and we recommend an allocation of $26,718 for one USAC entity and 58 non-USAC entities. I'm happy to answer any questions, and it's also been.
Thank you. Can we please get a motion? Yes, Tommy.
I motion to approve an allocation of $26,718 for one USAC entity and 58 non-USAC entities of contingency programming funding for this week.
Second.
Tommy motions, Hannah seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against and all abstaining. With a vote of 9-0, the contingency programming funds are approved for today. Next, we have SFS allocations.
This week, SFS recommends an allocation of $6,502.78 to 4 USAC entities and 4 non-USAC entities.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you. Then we will approve the SFS allocations. Next, we have SWC programming fund allocations with Hannah.
Sorry.
This week, SWC recommends an allocation of $749.14 to 3 non-USAC entities.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing as there are none, those are approved for tonight. Next, we have ASRF allocations and AAC travel mini grant allocations with Chris Espino. No, you're no one. Did we just strike those? Let's strike those. Next, we have TGIF.
TGIF recommends an allocation of $12,962.42 to 5 non-USAC entities and 2 USAC entities.
Thank you. Next, we will finish and close that off, and we will now move on to our special presentations. We have a presentation from the Hispanic Serving Institution with Dr. Gonzalez and Estrella. If you would like to come up, you can take as much as you'd like. Yeah, that mic works best, yeah. And then just let Tommy know when to go to the next slide.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. My name is Estrella Gutierrez, and I am one of the HSI student liaisons. I am also here with Dr. Elizabeth Gonzalez, which is our HSI director. And we are here, first off, to give thanks for you guys essentially sponsoring the town hall that occurred on January 14th, as well as just being here to report back on what we found from this current town hall. So yeah, Tommy, next slide, please.
Okay, and I'm here just to give some context about UCLA's Hispanic Serving Institution efforts, which was formerly in the Chancellor's office, but now is in the new Office of Inclusive Excellence. And our core mission is aligned behind the mission to democratize education. This is in line with many of the HBCUs, the historically Black serving institutions, predominantly Black serving institutions, which is also a federal designation. And UCLA, as of the last 2 years, is a federally recognized Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander institution. And so HSI, Hispanic Serving Institution, is one of several of these minority serving institution designations at the federal level. And this designation is granted to universities once they meet certain criteria from student enrollment. So for HSI, it's the minimum of 37% of our undergraduates need to be Pell eligible, right? So it's a campus that is focused on social mobility, right? Taking students who who grew up in the lowest socioeconomic background and being a vehicle for social mobility. And the second designation, the second eligibility for HSI is to have a 25% enrollment of Latino students at the undergraduate level. These are federal, but what's exciting, and many of you hopefully will follow this, next slide, is that given all the uncertainty at the federal level, there is now state level designations. So in 2024, the state of California passed Senate Bill 1348, which established the Black Serving Institution designation. This year, literally last week, Senate Bill 1255 was proposed, which would establish a California HSI designation. And also Assembly Bill 2374 would also establish an Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander designation. So UCLA is eligible to be designated at the state level as a BSI, a Black Serving Institution. And hopefully if these Senate Bill 1255 and Assembly Bill 2374 pass, we could also apply for HSI and ANAPC eligibility. And I'm sharing that because many of you are involved in some of this advocacy work. And so those are two legislative bills that you should keep track of. Next slide. So UCLA is on the cusp of becoming an HSI. We're at 24.7% Latino, Chicano students at the undergraduate level. And we're close to the Pell eligibility, which is 37%. We're at 34%, but we can get a waiver for that. And we've received a waiver in the previous years. So we knew this time was coming. Next slide. Because LAUSD is 77% Latino. So we're the UC of LA, and in our backyard, the majority of students identify as Latino. And in California, 1 in 2 students who are UC eligible are Latino. That's 50%. So the fact that UCLA will now reach a 25% threshold is the minimum, right? We don't want to be just the UC in LA. We want to be of LA. And that starts with representation, right? But also once they're here, we want to be able to make sure that we're serving students. Next slide. And so that is what HSI is about. HSI is about transforming UCLA to be able to meet the strengths and the needs of this new demographic. We can either lean into this change or we will be summoned to change. Like it's coming, it's here. And so what UCLA said is we will lean into it. We are going to prepare for this change. And so under Chancellor Block, there was great investments to support Black Bruins Rising Initiative, the Rising to the Challenge Initiative for Native American, and the HSI efforts as well. And so here you get a glimpse of the efforts that are going on around student success, including the support for AAP, the support for the Center for Community College Partnerships, and then the establishment of the Latino Success Center. We also have efforts in teaching and research in partnership with the Chicano Studies Research Center and the Chicano and Central American Studies Department, and then the role of the HSI director to coordinate these campus-wide efforts. Next slide. And now I'm going to turn it to Estrella for the most critical part and the part that you all have been supporting since 2023.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. And so with that, at the forefront of the HSI initiative here at UCLA, one of the biggest things we really value is student voices. And one of the ways we have been able to do that since 2023 is through these HSI student town halls. Despite slightly different formats throughout the years, they have 3 overarching goals, which is to center student voices, as previously mentioned, with attention to students of color, just to get an idea of what the UCLA HSI status would mean to them, as well as updating the HSI student body on HSI progress for that year, and also building community among Latinx student orgs, which can be slightly seen through the many partnership and increasing partnerships we've had over the years with every town hall that has occurred. And so with these town halls, we have had huge milestones, such as the establishment of the Latinx Success Center, and that was with the help of the student voices during the 2023 student town hall, where we found that that was a big priority for them. And through the 2-year development process, student voices were at the forefront of that as well, whether it be through the LSE student survey, the student collaboratives, and even the summit that occurred. Student voices are really what shaped the creation and the existence of the town hall that you see, of the LSE that you see today. And then in 2025, we found that the student priority was campus safety due to the climate at the time. And with that was the creation of the Campus Safety Committee. And so with that, the recommendations from that town hall were able to be given to the Office of Campus and Community Safety. And then there were also special advisors of the chancellor present who then gave those recommendations to the chancellor. And then safety protocols were created for key events here on campus. And Dr. Salcedo and Dr. Kanamatute were also put into the police chief's advisory board. And now, more recently, the 2026 town hall, we found that student priorities laid more on resources, transparency, and interconnectedness. Next slide, please. And so, as you all may have heard, we did have our HSI town hall a little over a month ago on January 14th. We are very thankful for those who showed up and very thankful to all the student orgs who participated in planning this event. And with this event, we were able to find about 6 recommendations that were essentially student-led and were based off the group dialogue and the community dialogue that we were able to garner, whether it be through the notes that students provided or the verbal feedback they provided for us. What we saw were overarching themes of lack of institutional trust, as well as this feeling and perception of resources being gatekept, more so due to the fact that CLA is a huge campus and there's so many resources available that is really difficult to keep track of what's existing and who qualifies and is eligible for certain benefits that the school provides. As well as the LSC still being a big priority through student programming that is tailored to many different needs, such as academic, professional development, connecting with alumni, whether it be through pláticas, and even some who mentioned that they wanted hours modified to better serve other student populations, such as commuter students. And so, yeah, with that, we also had students who mentioned wanting aid in terms of resources, such as having a centralized and accessible resource hub. And there were some mentions of some inconsistencies in information that were provided to them, such as when they would seek help with financial aid. And one of those things that they recommended was having a, assigned or dedicated advisor, or at the very least, what we were able to see was to ensure that there was consistency within processes and protocols to ensure that students weren't getting conflicting pieces of information. And so with that, these are essentially what will be guiding our work for the following years, or for what's to come in this year, and will continue guiding our work essentially as the years come by. Next slide, please. And so with that, one of our current projects is the campus mapping project. I'm not sure if you all saw this on our Instagram, but there was a flyer out. We were essentially looking for committee members to be part of this project. It is essentially under recommendation number 4, retention and graduation, and is being led by our other amazing student liaison, Jocelyn Guzman. And so this consists of primarily students in order to get an idea of what students really want to have on this interactive and ever-evolving map as well, but also we have staff who work at certain resource centers to ensure that we are able to get accurate information for these resources that we will be putting on the map. And so the first meeting occurred this past Monday on the 24th. Very successful. We had, I think, a little over 12 people in attendance. And I also invite you, if you guys, if this piques your interest, let any one of us know. Get in contact with us, feel free. I think we would be more than happy to have more people on this project as we really do value any student voices. And the overall goal is to have a pilot of this map created by the summer, essentially. And we hope that it will be able to be used for orientation in the summer to follow. Next slide, please. And yeah, that was our slightly brief presentation. Thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to continuously collaborating with you all, so feel free to, take note of our contact information. We hope to partner with you all as the years come. And again, thank you so much for the support over the past couple of years. There's one more slide, just like a question slide. Yeah, it's just like if anyone has any questions, little Q&A, any at all. Don't be shy. No, you're good. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
This isn't a question, but more so for the public. This is just in regards to the discretionary funding that we pulled earlier this quarter. So this presentation is just also serves as a thank you for that. And also we're thankful for that collaboration, but just putting that out there for the minutes.
Thank you, Diego. No questions? All right, that's fine. All good.
Dr. Gonzalez.
I know Estrella said it, but I do want to just say thank you for your continued partnership. When I got to UCLA in this role 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, literally my first day, my first meeting was with USAC students. Like first day on the job. And you all have been supportive throughout. None of what HSI is doing would not be possible if students weren't behind it. And you continue to be supportive, and just want to express my gratitude for the funding to host this town hall, and for all of you who show up and continue to support, not just in words, but actually being there. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much to the both of you for coming out tonight. All right, next we have officer reports. I will keep mine written. Just as a reminder, if you know anybody that might be interested in JBoard, please encourage them to apply. I will probably be moving those applications forward to ARC soon this week. That's it on my end.
Hey everybody. We have some exciting events in IVP that are going to be announced this week, so keep a lookout for that. Also, keep a lookout for a save the date for the first ever annual USAC End of the Year Gala, which will be hosted in May. So, invitations coming soon.
Ando, he says.
Yeah.
Sherry?
Hi, mine will be written other than our Latino Lobby Day applications are out, so check out our Instagram for more details. But yeah, everything else is written. Thanks.
Talia is not here. Any updates from General Rep 2 office?
Hello. Beautiful. Hi, everyone. I'm Gabby. I am not Jehab, but I am, in fact, proxying for her today. Very excited to be here. First things first, we do have a Black Caucus event coming up, which will be tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Blackbird Resource Center. This is in collaboration with the African Student Union. This is part of our DEI preservation team, and it mainly serves to share experiences as UCLA students to facilitate discourse toward a better quality of life for Black student life at UCLA, and there will be food. And I think that's the end of the update for Gen Rep 2.
Thank you. Brett?
Hello. It'll be written today. Thank you.
Chris is not here. Daniel?
Hello, everybody. Just wanted to give a few updates. First, I just wanted to highlight this past Sunday, we had AfroFest in collaboration with NSA. Super successful, a lot of fun, had a great turnout. And then yesterday, we had a sneak screening of the new movie Idiotka. We had a Q&A with the director, Nastasia Popov. She made her directorial debut with this movie, so it was really cool. But yeah, and then for this week, we have another sneak preview on Friday of Tyreek Withers and Micah Monroe's new movie, Reminders of Him. We're doing that in collaboration with GSA Melnitz Movies. That's going to be this Friday at 6 p.m. at JBT. And then another sneak preview on Monday of Project Hail Mary. That's Ryan Gosling's new movie. And that's going to be on Monday at 6:30 at the Landmark in Westwood. And that'll be it.
Thank you. Next is Edison. Or I don't know if Nope, they disappeared. Divine?
Hi everyone. First, I want to go back to 2 weeks ago to really give a big shout out to our Hip Hop Congress fashion show. It was like a major success. We're all so happy. We we reached capacity, so it was just great. On Sunday, we had our winter quarter diversity tours trip in collaboration with FAC. We went to Boyle Heights. We took public transportation, the bus and the metro, and it was a lot of fun. We always make a zine to document the neighborhood that we're going to. And in the zine, we included Robert Vargas. He's a like a artist, painter from Boyle Heights, and coincidentally, we ran into him while we were in Boyle Heights. We got to talk to him. He gave us some signed paintbrushes. It was super dope, and we had some great food. This week, this week is a major week for us. It's our Hip Hop Congress Explosion, our big hip hop concert. We've been planning this for over 5 months. This Thursday in Ackerman Grand Ballroom from 7 to 9 p.m. RCP is required, and the link for that is in my officer report and on the CAC and HHC Instagram. We just released our first headliner. It's Molly Santana. Stay tuned for the rest of the lineup on our Instagram, but yeah, we're just super excited for that.
Thank you. Next, we have Joy.
So I put this on my officer report a few weeks ago, but we reached a milestone for the Lily Shaw Disability Cultural Center. DSU, in fact, with the help of AVC DeLuca, secured the first floor of the Strathmore building as a temporary pilot location for the Lily Shaw Disability Cultural Center for the rest of this academic year. It will be open for students to use in Strathmore in the spring quarter, and more details on its opening and operations will be announced soon. You can follow at UCLA Disability Center on Instagram. And we're also still hosting a design contest for our logo. And we are hosting a town hall tomorrow in Strathmore. More details to come on our Instagram, but we're doing a tour of the space, kind of just having an open forum for people to discuss what renovations they'd like to see. We'll also be voting on the logo there and giving out free air purifiers. So just follow that Instagram at UCLA Disability Center. You can also check the FAC Instagram and the DSU Instagram for more information. And yeah, in the meantime, we're still working with AVC Seplo and AVC DeLuca and DSU to secure a more long-term location for the Lily Shaw Disability Cultural Center. Yeah, and then other things, we hosted our physical accessibility town hall with DSU GR2, GR3, TSR, and IVP last Wednesday, where we discussed student experiences with housing accommodations, Bruin access elevators, ramps, bathrooms, and other built spaces on campus. And as Divine said, we had a collaboration with CAC Diversity Tours, where we did a tour to Boyle Heights. So yeah. And then everything else will be written for tonight. We have a letter coming up at the end of this meeting.
Nico?
Hey everyone, it'll be written. Thank you.
Thank you. Hannah?
Hello. Last Friday, we hosted our event Joy as Resistance. It was super fun. Lots of people showed up and we had really great student performances. Upcoming, we have our town hall next Tuesday from 4:30 to 6 p.m. in that room over there, Ackerman Viewpoint Conference Room. It is a collaboration with CARE in preparation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And speaking of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, if any of your offices are planning any events in April, our Bruin Consent Coalition is making an official calendar to distribute around campus. So last call for event submissions. And our Active Minds Committee is also hosting a cross-campus speaker webinar collab with some other Active Minds chapters on academic pressure and mental health policy. The rest is written.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm losing the order. Kiram?
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I've been sick, so I'm like brain farting. We have one of our biggest events ever. I wish Neha were still here. She was just here. Our housing night. It's happening next Monday, which is, if my calendar is not lying to me, March 9th at 5:30 p.m. in Sunset Village. We have lots of people tabling. It'll be super fun. We have a bouncy house. Okay, like you guys are like all in your 20s, right? When else are you gonna be in your 20s in a bouncy house, right? So show up, bounce around. We also have 2 free food trucks. We have the Greek food truck and then the Thai food truck. And I know that some of you guys aren't on the hill. So, enjoy some free food. It's in Sunset Village. I know a few offices are tabling too. So pull up, and that's honestly our major event. So the rest is written.
Thank you. Kaya?
We've started a bunch of things. We had our first teaching kitchen collab, and that's going to be a series. And we made sticky rice balls and sesame ginger syrup for Chinese New Year. And then we had our tax workshops. We had um we've been having a bunch of events, but tomorrow we have International Women's Day celebration, and that's gonna be there's gonna be free snacks and drinks, and you can make your own wellness bags and postcards for any women that you look up to. And this is gonna be in Bradley Hall. And then day after tomorrow on Thursday, we have a collaboration with UCLA Rec, and it's going to be a free group X class for international students, and it's a world dance class, which has been a part of the group X series, but it's basically like a mix of dances from different parts of the world and music from different parts of the world, but it's like a cardio workout. So it's super fun if anyone's interested.
Thank you. Next we have Orlando.
Hello, excuse me. Hello, everyone. No updates for me today.
Thank you. Lori?
Hello. Just that I will not be here next week. I'm sorry, I'll be on a beach in Hawaii.
Ooh. As you should. Jonathan?
Hey, hi, hello. As you may have noticed, Lorelai is not here today. She's out sick, so if you need anything on her end, please let me know. Another reminder that the parliamentarians' recommendations for changes to your constitution have been sent over to CRC. And if you're a member of CRC, I desperately need you to schedule that meeting because we're running out of time. It needs to be done at your next council meeting so that it can be on meet the ballot deadline, which is next Friday from eBoard. Other than that, we are starting our transition planning here in SGS. And one of the dates that I wanted to bring up for you all now is the date when you all are no longer allowed to program on behalf of your office. And that date is the 26th of May. So you may not host anything on the 26th or after. It will no longer be your office at that point. We will have the dates for when you need to turn over social medias, emails, and things of that sort to you soon. And we will also have transition document submissions coming soon. So if you have free time, I encourage you to start working on those now. They are required per your bylaws to keep your final stipend. And yeah, if you have any questions about that, let us know. Otherwise, have a great week.
Um, that is it. Peter is not here. I will move it to the discussion on BOD fund concerns brought forth by the student body. I think that's Tommy. I got the email there. Then if they're not here, then we'll move them to next week.
Hey. Basically, like it's a student org that didn't get their funding fulfilled through BOD, but they like already spent the money, even though they didn't have it. So kind of looking for alternative measures. But just out of the sake of being receptive, we always historically add them when they ask. But if they didn't show up, we can push again and I'll reach out. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Next we have the following item, which is a resolution.
Oh, hey again. Um, Let me read this for you all real quick. All right, so this is a resolution calling for UCLA to establish a firewall for freedom, sponsored by the IVP office and Amnesty International. Whereas the University of California, Los Angeles prides itself on being a campus that supports civil and human rights for all members of our community and recognizes that the ability to criticize our government, its policies, and even its foundational philosophies is critical to our civil and human rights and protected by the First Amendment. Whereas the White House is pressuring university officials to assist in targeting students, faculty, and staff who are not U.S. citizens, including holders of non-immigrant visas and lawful permanent residents, as punishment for the lawful exercise of their rights to freedom of expression under the Constitution and international law. Whereas across the country, students are increasingly afraid of being accosted and taken from their communities by federal law enforcement agents, including those who conceal their identity and refuse to provide basic information and who abuse immigration laws to target students for what they believe and who they are. Whereas protected political speech and association alone, no matter how offensive to members of the campus community, should never be the basis for discipline, nor should it lead to an individual's arrest, detention, or deportation. Whereas the White House and federal agencies are threatening to deprive universities across the country of federal grant money and other resources of support in order to gain their cooperation in capitulation efforts to punish dissent, attack non-citizens, students of color, and LGBTQ youth, and dictate educational programs. Whereas this includes brazen attempts to intimidate schools into abandoning lawful efforts to create inclusive learning environments, whereas schools are obligated under federal law to protect students from discrimination, harassment, threats, and violence, whereas schools are also obligated under federal law to ensure the integrity and confidentiality of student records, including unwarranted disclosure to the government or private parties. Let it be resolved that the student body of the University of California, Los Angeles declares its support for the protection of civil and human rights of all members of our campus community and calls upon the University of California, Los Angeles President, that should be Chancellor, to take all possible measures to ensure that our campus is a safe space where students may exercise their rights without fear or intimidation. Let it be further resolved that the student body encourages the University of California, Los Angeles Chancellor and Board of Trustees to resist White House and federal agency demands and undermine academic freedom and our civil and human rights in exchange for an illusory promise of continued federal grant making. Let it be further resolved that the student body calls upon the University of California, Los Angeles Chancellor to ensure notification of a timely manner of federal immigration enforcement presence on its campus. Let it be finally resolved that the student body of the University of California, Los Angeles calls on the University of California, Los Angeles Chancellor to employ their authority to establish a firewall for freedom, prohibiting employees of the University of California, Los Angeles from voluntarily providing information or assistance in response to requests from federal authorities or out-of-state authorities that seek to identify or impose civil or criminal liability or other penalties, including termination or redaction of grant funding, upon a person or entity based on their participation in activities protected by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, including assembly, petitioning, expression of viewpoints, and speech, to identify or apprehend a person in order to subject them to immigration detention, removal, or deportation proceedings, to prosecute a person or persons for offenses related to immigration status based on their participation in activities protected by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, including assembly, petitioning, expression of viewpoints and speech, and to investigate the sex or gender of a student, faculty, or staff member.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? I think I just want to add an edit. Yeah.
Diego.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Hannah?
Wait, yeah, just one small edit. It lists Jay as Gen Rep 1.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Can we please get a motion?
I motion to approve the I motion to approve a resolution calling for UCLA to establish a firewall for freedom.
Danny motions, Joy seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. All abstaining with a vote of 9-0. The resolution calling for UCLA to establish a firewall for freedom is approved. Next, we have a letter with Joyce. Yeah.
I'm going to have Winston and Isabella, Fact T directors, present.
Hi, everyone. So we're back with another letter. Um, so basically, this last week we presented something about the Ohio to Ohio project, which was involving LADOT. But this one, or involving Caltrans, but this is a project that's going to involve LADOT. They're proposing bike lanes, protected bike lanes on Ohio Avenue from Westwood Boulevard to Westgate Avenue. They would be fully protected bike lanes, one of the first we'll see in the city, where they'll be fully protected with concrete barriers instead of just plastic bollards. They're currently in phase 2 of their design, so they've proposed the full design and they're just getting final approval now. But it's still important to send these letters because council members have unilateral approval about what happens in their districts. And one of the council members is pretty supportive of it, but the other one is a lot more concerned about traffic and parking and all those things. So she has the potential to completely cancel the project just on her own.
Ooh,
Councilmember Tracy Park.
of course.
Okay. What else? Basically, it would be a fully protected bike lane. Unlike most bike lanes that you think of, where it's like one bike lane on each side, both the bike lanes would be on the same side, so they would be fully protected from traffic, and cars would actually be prohibited from turning left at certain intersections to prevent the chance of cars hitting bicyclists while they're in the lane. Okay, I'll start reading the letter. Okay. Dear Los Angeles Department of Transportation, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, and Councilmember Park, on behalf of the Undergraduate Students Association Council at the University of California, Los Angeles, we urge full support for the Ohio Avenue Safety Mobility Project. We call for the immediate construction of the full design that was presented at the open house on February 26, 2026, including a fully protected two-way protected bike track on Ohio Avenue from Westwood Boulevard to Westgate Avenue.
Ohio Avenue is the seventh busiest bike corridor in Los Angeles and provides a crucial east-west link for bicyclists and pedestrians to safely cross the 405. For UCLA students who do not have access to cars, Ohio Avenue serves as a crucial backbone to get to and from Santa Monica and West LA. Yet conflicts between vehicles and bicycles are far too often, highlighted most recently in the tragic accident at the 99 Ranch Market in Westwood that was prompted by a vehicle killing a bicyclist, which ultimately killed 3 and injured 6. We know what works to protect cyclists and pedestrians, protected bike lanes that separate bicyclists from traffic, and facilities that slow traffic and prioritize cyclists at intersections.
We provide our full enthusiastic support for each of the major components of this project. The protected bikeway will ensure bicyclists have sufficient space to ride and be fully separated from vehicle traffic. According to the Federal Highway Administration, truly protected bike lanes reduce vehicle-bicycle crashes by up to 53%. Concrete barriers instead of flimsy plastic bollards will ensure that cars are physically prevented from entering space designated for cyclists, significantly reducing the chance and severity of injury and death.
The neighborhood greenway elements, including traffic circles, would reduce dangerous cut-through speeding and improve safety for pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers alike. Curb extensions and higher visibility crosswalks will reduce the chance of pedestrian crashes while making our city more accessible to those with mobility needs. All of these elements will ensure safer, more reliable connections to the future Westwood Boulevard Safety and Mobility Project and Metro D-Line. We hope that LADOT and the city do not repeat the same mistakes they have in the past, watering down changes to the point where they no longer deliver meaningful safety benefits. Half-baked bike lanes will be ineffective at best and at worst send a signal to the community that bike lanes do not work, when in reality they do when built right.
UCLA students are 6 times more likely to incorporate a bike as part of their daily commute versus the general LA public. Better micromobility infrastructure will make those commutes safer, faster, and more convenient. Non-traditional students, students with dependents, transfer students, commuter students, or simply those that live further from campus would benefit even more from these improvements. It is remarkable that so many Angelinos choose a bike as their primary means of transportation, despite the glaring gaps in our infrastructure that put them at unnecessary risk of injury and death. Los Angeles has the ideal natural environment for cycling. Accelerating and completing the Ohio Avenue Safety Mobility Project now is a clear step towards making our built environment the same. Does anyone have any comments, questions?
Wait, sorry. This is the first time I've ever seen a letter addressed to a council person that we're not in their district. Can I ask again why? Sorry, maybe I
Because
missed
the
it.
Ohio Avenue project runs through both councils.
Both of it? All right, thank you. And again, I know Michael asked last time for me to email it. It was gonna be the
I
same.
would give him, ask him to email you the email.
Thank you. Any other questions?
This is really great.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. All right, thank you. Can we get a motion? I'm like, thank you. Let's motion. Yeah, Joy.
Move to approve the letter regarding Ohio Safety and Mobility Project.
Second.
Joy motion, 10 seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against. All abstaining with a vote of 9 to 0 to 0. The letter for the Ohio Avenue Safety and Mobility Project is approved. I think that is right. Yep. Then I adjourn this meeting at 7:57 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Let's go to the game. No, it's okay. Sorry. No, I know. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I would, but I'm hungry.
Wait, Diego, Kea. Just do those.
Okay.